Hello, yeah. Welcome to the entire Retreat channel. My name is Ode. I'm your host, and usually, together with AI Sky, we fly far, wide, low, and high over real-world locations that relate to the topics in each episode. But today, a slightly different format. Microsoft so kindly provided us the possibility to take part in the Msfs 24 technical alpha. So hence, among other video ideas that you can watch on my channel, you can now evaluate the gameplay and performance of 2020 versus 2024 here. And everything is recorded in 2K. The game is played in 2K, and I have the overlay then sharing what presets, graphical presets, sorry, I am playing in. And also I invite you to look at the game and gameplay as it is. I have the possibility and are going to include performance overlays in the future, but now, I mean, instead of fixating on different performance values, let's just sense, let's say, the video feed as it is, and yeah, share in the comments, please, what's the main differences you see as we now visit several locations in this one video. So just jump into it with me, so to say. We are now heading towards downtown New York, and things that I notice as I try to have actually similar time of day and year. It's autumn in both games here, and the weather I try to adjust according to the 24 version. So slight differences, but still the foliage. We are playing according to the game in autumn. I think it's two weeks maybe difference, maximum 3, and we have a lot more nuance. Yeah, a lot more nuance in the 24 version, and I think also that the foliage, the vegetation, especially here in cities, are more precise. Not that I have been to New York, but it's overgrown, it seems, in 2020 sometimes. Other things, as it's a technical alpha, the photogrammetry and foliage is muted slightly, I think, restricted. And because, I assume also because it's an early version, we see some blue lines here and there in the graphical mesh, the terrain mesh. Then, as we now fly over New York and past, I think that's actually Empire State Building. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, but yeah, looking at the city and the buildings itself, as everything is a medium, as I said, it's similar, of course. The park here has the foliage difference again. We have fall or autumn colors in that bunch of trees. But yeah, I can't say that there's much difference between the buildings. And in general, the performance is slightly worse in the 24 version. You can actually see there's some frame drops and stuttering sometimes. And another thing is that the maritime vessels are simulated here. They are going bonkers most of the time, but yeah, that's something you don't have in the 20 version. Now we jump to Yokohama, yeah, in Japan. And the medium settings, I believe it says it hopefully in the middle. I think it said medium settings now, but yeah, going forward, trying to look again at the scenery and analyze it to my best abilities, we see that there's smoother gameplay on the left side, the 20 version. As I said, we are playing in the exact same settings through these. And I forgot to mention, but it's in the description, that I have the low end or minimum spec PC really close to it. yeah, according to what Microsoft shared on their website. So in general, as I record this and play in 2K, you should get similar gameplay performance or better, because I am using the minimum spec specification. Yeah, minimum spec means specification, but yeah, rambling here. You cannot go lower, or you can go lower, but Microsoft told us that this should be the lowest spec that runs the game smoothly. But smoothly is relative. On the right side again, a lot more stuttering compared to the left side. So the new game at this point in time is not performing as good as the old one on my PC. Now we are in Paris, France. We're gonna actually fly by the Eiffel Tower, close by it, and then land. I forgot the name of the park that stands on the route of the Eiffel Tower, but yeah, and we're gonna land there. And yeah, rambling again, but you could actually rate my landing, please, in the comments, because I think, or not, I don't think, I know that I'm playing the game with WASD on the right side, but then later I recorded the 20 version and I got myself an Xbox controller, so that's of course then easier relating to the flying in general, so you can control the airplane. But here we're now flying towards the Eiffel Tower, and yeah, the first thing that stands out is that the Eiffel Tower looks horrible in 24 because it's a mix of 3 different building architectures, and there's a lot of cruise ships on or in the river there in front of the tower. But then the lighting seems more precise in that you maybe see the individual windows in a better way, and it's not that bloomy, let's say, in the 24 version. Trying to have a similar time of day and weather here, so you be the judge. I'm trying to just pick up on the details as we fly here. Now we are landing in the park. Forgot the name, but I did this because I actually wanted to see if you can walk up the Eiffel Tower in the 24 version. Not gonna spoil that, it's cuts off before, so you can go watch the separate video I have of that event here on Entired Retreat. But yeah, as we look at the foliage again in the park, it's different. In general, it seems, yeah, that the 20 version is it's packing more of the same vegetation into different areas. The 24 version has clearly different sizes and then colors to the vegetation, and I think also that the grass itself was not fully represented in the 24 Tech Alpha, and you see that the grass here in the park is non-existent. There's some in the 20 version, but yeah, it looks like the what's the word, the landscapers, I guess, of the park has taken a vacation in the 20 version because it's kind of overgrown and such. So yeah, now we jumped out in the 24 version just to look at the Eiffel Tower from a different perspective, and again we can see that the architecture in general is not as it should be. The tower itself is more or less as it should be, but then it has this I don't know, apartment building and a separate tower then within it, so the game got that mixed up quite bad. And the park itself, I've never been here either, but the park itself seems to be I don't know, it looks kind of overgrown in the 20 version, and the 24 version then is kind of undergrown, so yeah. Jumping forward, high presets around Mount Fuji. And here again, similar time of year and day, and the weather is set so that it should be also comparable. And yeah, the height in the different videos also is more or less the same, so we try to look at the scenery. This is a slightly longer part of the video, and I watched this through once before, trying to really pinpoint differences so that I don't only ramble about and have something of value when I comment on this. But one thing I noticed is that there is a darker green general hue to the scenery in Japan here, and fields and roads and rivers are more prominent and pops out, are more recognizable in the 24 version. Though the 20 version as a full game at this point at least seems to do a better job, not better necessarily, but it seems more colorful, not maybe contrastful, but colorful in the way that if you would draw a vibrant picture, I think the 20 version at this stage at least is more vibrant. But then I know that the camera is not going to be exactly in the same angle all the time, even though I'm flying over the same general area, but in the 24 version I feel like there are more height or more detailed height difference, and the fields and such, I feel that they are more contrasted, so that you kind of see they're popping out more. I'm not sure if that's realistic. I mean, in the 20 version here we see that there's fields and such also, but this general color is slightly lighter. That may be the weather also, that we have a beam or an area of sunlight showing us a brighter terrain in the 20 version. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Then one future update to the 24 version is the topogrammetry. Is that the right phrase? The height differences should be a lot more detailed, and that's what I'm looking at here. Yes, I think that the nooks and crannies and such are more detailed in the 24 version, but then again, from this height, is it like really contrastful? Is it better? Difficult to say. But yeah, I think there's a difference for the better in the 24 version. Then of course again the foliage. We are flying actually three-ish weeks, 3 virtual weeks later in the 20 version, but yeah, still we don't have different colors in the foliage. It's mostly only green. I think this is actually the Aokigahara, the so-called suicide forest in Japan that we're flying over right now, and yeah, it's green. But then in the 2024 version, it has browns and grays and red, orange and such colors. Also, looking at the weather itself, I tried. It was quite difficult actually to give myself a similar setting in both games, but the water statues, the storm fronts, the haze and the atmospheric lighting, I think there's more nuance even with my low spec PC in the 24 version. And another thing is that the mountain peaks in general seem, as they come up to a certain height, they lose a lot more vegetation in the 24 version. As the 20 version, here we see that there's trees on top of the mountains, And yeah, now we turn to the 24 version, and the foliage, the vegetation grows partially up the inclines, but then they stop as the altitude gets higher. Not sure if that's something that's gonna change when the full version releases, but yeah, we have to go, or we have to analyze that what we got. So then we're above. Is it Lake Kawaguchi? Maybe, I'm not sure. I can't read that pixel mush on my small screen here on DaVinci Resolve, but yeah, anyway, we are flying above the same area. Soon we're gonna crank both of them up from high to ultra and see if we see a difference there. But yeah, yeah, here actually we see on the 24 version a beautiful beam of light within a water statue or rain front, let's say. Now going to the ultra settings. Again, clear difference how you see the fields, the different squares. The actual roads are more prominent. The foliage is yeah, it's more nuanced, more detailed. The rendering distance, don't have an opinion on that, because I can't actually say that there's a clear difference there, but trying to look at the larger buildings also, different locations, trying to reference different roads and crossroads to each other. We are in the similar location, even though there may be a kilometer or a couple of 100 meters between the actual precise flight path, but yeah, we are looking at the same mountains in front of us. And yeah, I'm repeating myself slightly, but there's more the foliage is maybe the largest and most prominent difference. But then again, we can see close to the mountainside that there's the river, and the roads perpendicular to the river are also quite a lot more detailed in the 24 version. But yeah, again, slight repetition. The 2K footage, or yeah, I'm playing in 2K, and the footage is in 2K. And to a slight surprise of mine, the 20 version runs about 5 frames per second more efficient than the 24 version. You can see on Ultra both exactly the same. I have TAA on the settings, I have 100% on the rendering scale, if that's the right phrase, and the medium preset with no change, no custom presets or nothing like that. And yeah, we can see that as we crash here on the right side, the 24 version, we got really clear frame drops. 8 to 10 frames a second was the average, I think, on Ultra in 24, but I got to low teens, 15 to low teens even on the 20 version, so we're talking about maybe 7 frames a second difference. Yeah, 5 to 7 frames a second better on the 20 version with the same settings. Now we jump to another classic location, and that's the pyramids of Giza, I think, yeah, in Egypt. And again, looking at the urban scenery, it's like the 24 version at this point is slightly more hazy in a way, as the 20 version has more contrast. Even the shadows look more sharp in the 20 version. Or are my eyes lying to me? But yeah, I'm trying to look at traffic here. Is there difference? Maybe there's slightly more traffic in the 24 version. Maybe. But yeah, then again, the vegetation within urban sceneries seem to be more specific, instead of just kind of putting it wherever it has a place and location, the size seems more realistic. And one thing I noticed is that look at the right side. I was slightly late in pointing this out, but the right side pyramid on the 24 version, you look at the same face that faces us, it has more bumps and shadows in it. You can see it here even, than the 20 version. So I guess that also the topographic detail and that the actual mesh size, I think it's shrunk to something like 15 or 50 centimeters in square centimeters. Don't quote me on the exact size, but because it's smaller we get more detail even on the faces of pyramids. And there on the right side we took a touch and go landing, and we saw that the dust fluffed up because of that. And that's something that we have in the new version. I think I'm gonna just in a short moment land or do a touch and go landing also on the 20 version, and you can see that there's no dust that's gonna fluff up here. Also, going back to the crash landing in the or near the Mount Fuji, I forgot to mention, but the leaves, as I'm on my roof, or the plane is on the roof there in the forest, the leaves are fluttering around as the propeller is generating airflow. So the simulation is there in the 24 version. Yeah, and here we see that the 20 version does not fluff up any dust, any sand. Then we are going forward to Lofoten in Norway. I said it in the full or original video also. It means lynx foot or bobcat foot, the direct translation. But yeah, try to again get a similar point of view. I talk about we when AI Sky is with me, but yeah, I tried to get the actual same mountain tops that I fly over, and here we are doing that here. Not sure of the name of the location, the exact location, but there's some mountain lakes here. And again, we had the cityscapes, we can analyze that back and forth, of course, but then we have the topographic, more wilderness side of different locations. And yeah, Fuji, and of course here in Lofoten, try to look at the details in the height differences in nature. Honestly, maybe if you look in the far horizon, there's slightly more difference in the 24 version. Maybe, again, similar time of day, similar weather, same time of year and such. But being the full game on the left side, of course, it's gonna be better. I think it is actually better at this point in time. There's not a clear difference, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to look at the details in the mountain peaks and fjords in this place. But yeah, you tell me. I really invite you to take part in the comment section, because I'm sure I'm gonna miss something. I looked through it once or twice and then I'm doing this video, but even though I'm passionate about flight sims and sims in general and games, I'm not an expert. And if there are somebody who knows more than me, please share, comment, and let me know what you think about what you see here on this comparison video. I'm trying to look in the far distance. Yeah, I honestly can't say that there's a huge difference. Maybe the shorelines in the fjords have more detail to them. Looking at the ones in the background there, I guess that's a outcome then from having the mesh, the detail in the mesh smaller and yeah, hence the detail pops out better. Then the last part, I tried to create a storm here, and this is kind of an ending to the video here, and that's me kind of not messing about, but I actually tried to see if there's any difference. On the right side we have some strange shading going on there where the cursor is, and then we had the, I call it a frost effect on the trees sometimes, that even though it's not winter, it kind of renders some frost looking things around the branches. But yeah, here on the left I put the wind on full maximum effect, and on the right side, as I'm using WASD, I actually lost control of the airplane, and slightly, I think it's by accident that I then actually walk on water. It's not shown in this video. Go and check out the Lofoten video, the full Lofoten video. It's separate. It's a separate upload on entire retreat. But yeah, as you can see on the right side, some bugs still exist. So, but yeah, ending the video there. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, subscribe, like, and such things. Check out the different platforms I have overlaid in this video. And thank you. See you in the next one.